And the way I worked it was to get very, very disciplined in my routine. I'm not actually in lockdown at the moment. I get up about 5:30 every morning.
Wow.
Before lockdown, I was getting up when I was training people one-to-one, 4 a.m. each morning.
Wow.
And I was doing 4 a.m. I was getting up. I would have some water, initially always water. I would then do some meditation and some gratitude training to get my mind focused. I would then do a bit of work with my online clients, because I have clients around the world. I would then usually either, if I had a client to train at the gym, I would go there and train them, or I would go to the gym and train myself. And this was all happening before my wife and kids get up. So I give myself the victory at the start of the day. Without that, say I get up half an hour before my kids and my wife, I'm battling to get in so much before them, and then then the chaos happens. And so very, very structured. And that involved me going to bed earlier. I tend to, when I'm getting up at 4 a.m., I need to get in bed 9:30, but the very latest, to get my 6.5 hours sleep and then get onto it. So routine has been absolutely key.
Welcome to Q's Health and Wellness Podcast, your source for living a healthier lifestyle and developing a better mind, body, and soul. Through guidance, tips, and stories of highly successful fitness gurus, athletes, and individuals who are passionate about enhancing all aspects of life, we provide you with the tools to help you take your lifestyle to another level. And now your host, Quinn Mitchell.
Welcome to Q's Health and Wellness Podcast. This is your host, Quinn Mitchell, and today I have a very special guest. Ian David Worthington is the owner and coach at GymWolfPT.com. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me on, Quinn.
No problem. So for people not familiar, would you mind giving a brief introduction about yourself?
So I'm Ian David Worthington. GymWolfPT is a business that I set up roughly about 4 years ago. So I know I look old. I am old. I'm 43 years old. So I've not been into, I have been into fitness since I was a young lad. Played a lot of sport, been a gym goer since the age of 16. It's been a true passion of mine, but it wasn't a career of mine. I was in industry, in electrical installation industry for 23 years, where I worked up towards, I became production manager for a full company, quality assurance manager, got to quite a senior position in an industry that I didn't enjoy. So a number of years back, I got to the point where I thought, I'm either going to do this till I retire, or I've got to do something I love. Thought what I love, and it came back to fitness. But I had 2 young kids at the time, married, biggish house, mortgage, couldn't just drop everything. So I set up GymWolfPT on the side initially whilst I was working. And then I built it up to a level in 2018 where I could finish my management job and focus it on that full time. And it's grown from there. So I offer one-to-one personal training in Preston, England, near where I live. But the online side is the big part of it, where I do online personal training for people across the UK and, in fact, the world. I have clients in India, Holland, Australia, America. So it's growing and growing. So yeah, it's a passion of mine, and it's doing well.
Wow, that's awesome. So being a fitness trainer, what would you say are some of the biggest obstacles that you've seen that you have with your clients?
Right, obstacles, clients, one-to-one and online. The main thing I see initially with most people when they sign up to me is most people are dehydrated. Simple as that. They don't drink a lot of water. Some know it. Some don't. Some say, I drink loads. And then when we monitor it, we find out they're drinking 1 litre a day or less. Not enough. And it's surprising what some people think, I'm drinking enough. I'm drinking 2-3 litres, and when we measure it, it's a lot less. So dehydration's a big one. Focusing on excuses and problems rather than solutions. That's the big one. So many people, when they join something, or before they join, usually, I don't do this, I can't do this, I've not got this. The thinking of all the reasons why something's not going to succeed, rather than focusing on what they can do. What have they got? What are they able to do? What can they build on? So that's another big one. And the other one I see a lot is overwhelm. People thinking, I've got to do it this way. I've got to do this. And that's not helping. We've talked before we went online about a lot of misconceptions. And a lot of people, fitness professionals as well, and celebrities, they're always talking about, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to deadlift, you have to do that. Well, if deadlifting is completely something you hate doing, you can't master that technique, you shouldn't be doing it, because you're either going to stress yourself, which is not good for your physical health anyway, or you're going to injure yourself because you're going to panic and not do it the wrong way. That's not giving up on things. There's a difference between trying something one time and say, oh, I'm not doing that. But so many people are overwhelmed and they think they have to do the certain things a certain way always. They have to have a set equipment. They have to go to the gym at this exact time. They have to go to a certain gym, but it's not like that. We find what works for the person, and everyone's individual, no matter what people say. It's not a one fits all.
No, definitely. I'm glad that you brought up, just to go back to your first point, the dehydration. Because I wanted to ask you about that, because I know that's something I used to struggle with myself, just drinking water. But I want to ask you, how important is it to actually get a good amount of water intake a day, and how much water should people actually drink a day?
Well, it all depends, obviously, on size and activity as well. So if someone's training ridiculous number of times or hours a day, they're going to have a lot more water than others. I'm a bit over the top. I drink anything from 6 to 8 litres of water a day. Wow. I do a lot of activity, and people say, oh, you'll always be going to the toilet, but your body starts to adjust like anything. At first, yeah, you up your water intake and you go into the toilet a lot, but after a while, your body will adjust. But it depends. Your absolute minimum, my thought is, regardless of size, unless you really are small, 2 litres is an absolute minimum people should have a day. Yet a lot of people will say, yeah, I drink plenty. I drink 1 litre a day. Not enough, not enough. And it's not just from, there's so many reasons water is important. When people want to lose fat, obviously it's filling your stomach. It can bring down cravings, but for your whole physical body, your health, your well-being, your joints, everything, water is key. Absolutely key.
No, definitely. I definitely agree with that. So were there any tips that you would give for men just starting to work out? Because I know a lot of men, they may be even in quarantine right now, they might have been going to the gym and like their motivation stopped. So now they can't actually get to the gym. So are there any tips that you could give to men that first starting out?
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to what I said earlier about overwhelm and overthinking things, and especially as you're in lockdown as well, Quinn, like we are in the UK, overthinking things. Oh, I can't get to the gym, so I can't start. Well, there's lots of stuff you can do. Over in England, we're allowed to go out once a day to exercise. So you can go out for a run, you can go out for a cycle, you can go out for a walk. You can, if you've got a garden, you can do activities in the garden. But then workouts, body weights, press-ups, sit-ups, squats. There's so many things you can do, and too often people use an excuse of, oh, I've not got any weights, or I've not got the right equipment, or I've not got the space. I mean, how much space does it need to do a squat? Not a lot. So firstly, don't overthink it, get started. Then I would always say my main tip is, and a lot of people, it's basics, but a lot of people miss it, is make sure you always have a warm up and have a cool down. Being injured is not good for anyone. No matter how hard you train, if you're injured, you're going to be injured. So a good warm up, and a good warm up for me doesn't just consist of doing a little run on the spot. It starts with a run or some light cardio, but stretching out, static stretch or dynamic stretch at the beginning, and static stretch and cool down. Very, very important. And then after the activity, to cool down. Another tip I'd give would be to, this is a bit, at the moment in lockdown, you're probably on your backup. But when people are gym members, I always say have a backup, especially when you start, because so some of my clients will say, yeah, I'll go to the gym 5 times a week, or I'll go 4 times a week. And then they actually go 2 times because work gets in the way. I mean, they miss the bus, the car breaks down, so they can't go. So that's an easy one to them say, oh, I didn't do it because of this. But if they have a backup of some home workouts anyway, which has come brilliant with the lockdown, all my clients who had backup workouts have just straight went onto them.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting rid of them excuses. Can't do the gym workout, you can do your backup workout. So always have a backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
And third, another big one, making mistakes. Once we make mistakes, so many people, what they do is they make that mistake bigger. What I call it is, if you've got a punctured tire in your car, a lot of people, they go around and slash all the other 3 tires just to make it even worse. So say you have you're on a set diet or set calories for the day, and you go massively over that. A lot of people, they'll say, this isn't worth it. The next day they'll do the same, and it'll drag on for a week or even longer. Or they don't get to the gym, or they don't do the workout, and they say, "Oh, what's the point? I'll miss it all this week." Mm-hmm. And that is the worst thing. Everyone's going to miss a workout sometimes. Everyone's going to go over the calories or not have enough calories, whatever the goal is. Take the mistake, take that lesson, and then move on to it and put it right. Don't worry about it. Don't make it worse. Just put it right. So they're the 3 things I would say. Initial tips for someone getting into training, what they want to consider and keep at the forefront.
No, that's awesome, because I know for me personally, I know something I used to struggle with was the cool down, and even playing basketball when I was in college, it was cooling down and warming up. That's why personally I think I was always getting injured, because I was just going to practice without actually warming up, and then I would never cool down. So then my body would just be aching. So I'm glad that you did give those points, because that's something I found out later in my career that works.
Absolutely. And like I say, I'm 43, and touch wood, I've not been injured for a number of years, because I always have a proper thorough warm up and cool down. I never miss it. And even if some people say, I've only got 20 minutes to work out, still have the warm up and cool down and have less on the thing. It's so important.
Got you. So is there something that you would, is there any key advice that you would give to men that's trying to gain muscle? Because I know a lot of men, me personally, I used to struggle with this, because I used to drink a lot of water and do a lot of different proteins and creatines. And it was something I could just struggle with, just trying to keep the weight on. So is there advice that you could give? Because you're a pretty big guy yourself, for being at 43 as well. So
not at the moment, I'm not too big. But,
so is it something that works for you?
It depends on what goal I'm working to. Supplements, I don't push supplements on anybody, because I see supplements as good for one reason, for convenience. It's not always easy to take chicken or whatever to the gym and have it straight after your workout. Supplements are good for that. But just eating to the calories, work out what calories you need daily to get your weight up. And you work to that with good, healthy foods. If you want to lose weight, you go the other way. And if that's not working, obviously the problem people do is they look over a short time, they do it for a day or a week and say, I've not gained weight. And then they say it doesn't work. You've got to do it over a time scale. But say you're monitoring it and every 2 weeks and you're not jumping up in weight, let's up that slightly. Let's up it more. You can mix around with the macros and the protein that, but the main thing is them calories and taking into account how hard you're working out. Again, a lot of people who are training hard at the gym, they're burning a lot more calories, obviously. So they're going to have to eat a lot more. And it's just finding what works for you by trial and error until you get up to that amount. And then once you're there, as you're getting bigger, you're going to need more and more and more. And some people miss that as well. They don't, it's all based on your weight. So if you get bigger, you're going to need more still and more still. And eating, it's different for different people, but I prefer to have fairly small meals a number of times throughout the day. It doesn't work for everyone. And I know with people, some people have jobs that mean it's not convenient for them to do it that way. But what works for me best is to have 6, even 7 or even 8 meals a day when I'm trying to bulk up. I'm not bulking up at the moment, I'm wasting away, but try to have 7 or 8 meals a day, a certain amount of calories in each one, set intervals throughout the day to build my calories up, because I find that if I try and eat a real lot at the moment, I can't get it in me.
Yeah.
I think so yeah, that's the advice on bulk. Well, there's a lot more advice I could give on that, and if people want to train with me,
yeah, definitely agree.
But,
Yep.
yeah.
So how did you personally balance out your training and your personal life? Because I'm sure a lot of your clients come to you and something that they struggle with is the time. So what is something that you do personally that helps you balance out getting to the gym and also your personal life?
Yeah, well, that is very relevant for me because I've got 3 young kids. I'm married. I was working initially full-time in a job as a manager and also doing this business on the side. So I had a lot of responsibilities. I won't say pressure, a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things to fit into the day. And the way I worked it was to get very, very disciplined in my routine. I'm not actually in lockdown at the moment. I get up about 5:30 every morning.
Wow.
Before lockdown, I was getting up when I was training people 1-to-1, 4 a.m. each morning.
Wow.
And I was doing 4 a.m. I was getting up. I would have some water, initially always water. I would then do some meditation and some gratitude training to get my mind focused. I would then do a bit of work with my online clients because I have clients around the world. I would then usually either, if I had a client to train at the gym, I would go there and train them, or I would go to the gym and train myself. And this was all happening before my wife and kids get up. So I give myself the victory at the start of the day. Without that, say I get up half an hour before my kids and my wife, I'm battling to get in so much before them, and then then the chaos happens. And so very, very structured. And that involved me going to bed earlier. I tend to, when I'm getting up at 4 a.m., I need to get in bed 9:30, but the very latest, to get my 6.5 hours sleep and then get onto it. So routine has been absolutely key for a number of reasons. I'm very scheduled in what I do. I don't say I'm going to try and get up tomorrow. I never say try. I'm getting up tomorrow and I'm doing this at this time and I'm doing this at this time. And if I miss it occasionally, I'm not saying I'm perfect. Occasionally I'll get out of sync, but I'll put it right the next day. So yeah, that routine and schedule is what has worked for me. And I think it works for most people. And the lockdown period now, this is the real problem for a lot of people, trying to make their own routine and schedule. When you've got a job that you have to go to at a set time, I'm not saying it's easy, it can be quite stressful, but people just do it. The minute they're left suddenly to say, right, you work out your own schedule, it can go to pieces. And I see it a lot across the UK, and I expect it's around the world. A lot of people are now drinking more often than they would be drinking alcohol. Not water. They're getting up later, they're going to bed later, they're eating whatever's in or whatever's convenient, and they're watching Netflix all the time. Routine is key, and it's more key than ever now. If you want to be in a good position when you come out of this lockdown, you want to have a good routine now. And it's quite easy to set yourself a routine. It seems difficult, but routine gives you power. It doesn't take your power. People think because they have a routine that, they're being told what to do or it's strict on them. No, it gives you power. You get that extra time and you feel good about it.
Yeah, it's really awesome that you say that, because even my mentor that I will look up to, he even tells me he has his day structured out, so he has everything written out and he follows a routine. So really all of the successful people that I know, they go based off of a routine. They never just wake up their day and just say, okay, let's just see how the day goes. Like, no, they'll have a structured routine and how they tackle everything.
It won't happen by luck. You've got to schedule and have a routine. It just won't happen by luck.
Yes, sir. So when it comes to losing weight, what is one of the biggest obstacles that you've seen with one of your clients, especially that they may have struggle with, whether it be eating or whether it be they may not know what to do. So could you just give some advice that you give to your clients?
Yeah. Again, dependent on what people are after. But a lot of people come to me and they just want to lose weight, or they say weight, usually it's fat they want to lose, but a lot of people say weight. And they want quick results. they want to be super regimented. They basically are willing to do whatever you say, and they want it to the extreme. So they're willing to starve themselves, train 7 days a week. And that very, very rarely works. The only time that, to me, works is if you've got someone who has got a competition or a goal, and they say, right, I'm going to do a physique competition in 6 weeks' time. I need to get to here. Then, yeah, we have to look at a diet that's super restrictive, no alcohol, no treats at all, pretty much, doing lots and lots of exercise. But for an average person, I say average, I'm not saying that is bad, but for most people who want to lose fat, if you put them on something that's super restrictive, tell them exactly they have to eat this, they can't eat this, they can't drink this, they have to train 5-6 times a week, they'll do it at the very start, and they might do it for a few days, they might even do it for a week or 2 weeks, and then bang, it's all going to blow up. And they're going to hate fitness, they're going to hate dieting, they're going to hate exercise, and they'll come up with what I hear sometimes, fitness, or I'm just meant to be fat, or I'm just meant to be out of shape. And they've gone to one extreme to the other. And usually, for most people, I'm not saying everyone, the balance is getting it right between the middle, where they can have some of what they like, and we're just changing things over time. And if you've got that goal in line, so I say now they come to me and said, at the end of the summer, in August, I want to get to this. We'll not change everything at once. We'll just get to there by making the adjustments that they can bring into their life. Because although when they make the call or when they contact me at that moment in time, fat loss might be the biggest thing to them at that moment. Suddenly when the kids are playing up, or when the stress from work, it suddenly drops right down the ladder of importance. And that's where we've got to keep them going. And that's where something that's sustainable, which they say, yeah, there's a bit of leeway in that. We can do it this way and we can do it that way. That's how it works for me. So with weight loss, that is the one. I mean, it's sustainable and realistic.
Got you. Now, the last question I want to ask you before I let you go is, how do you personally feel about like the different waist trainers out there, like the dietary pills? I know a lot of people, when they come to those things, they see it on the commercials. It look like it worked, but you as a personal trainer, how do you actually feel about those type of things?
So I've tried a lot of them in the past. I've not massively struggled with weight before, and I've always kept myself in the gym, but I've tried various different pills and things. They work to a degree, but not really. The celebrities or the athletes who are pushing most of these things are very, very surprised if they actually take them themselves.
Wow.
And if they are, it's not that's doing it. It's the other stuff that they're doing as well. The extreme discipline, the extreme dieting, the extreme. There's not a shortcut. There's not a shortcut in this business. There's the right ways to do stuff, and it doesn't have to be hard, but there's not a shortcut. There's not a pill. There's not a drink that I'm just going to have that every day and suddenly, boom, my muscles are going to come up. It doesn't work like that. It's not the Incredible Hulk. And well, if it is, I've not found it yet. I've never found anyone who's doing. So, yeah, to me, getting your goals. And the thing is as well, it's not just about physique. We're talking about health in general as well. And we're talking about the mindset and the journey of getting from A to B. The journey is the big part as well. And so if you take a pill that did manage to do it for you, you're missing all that anyway. And you just suddenly would get in the mindset of this, everything can come easy, and it doesn't work like that, in my opinion.
Nah, I definitely agree. So for people that want to get in contact with you, would you mind giving them your contact information?
Yes. So my website is GymWolfPT.com. So there's lots of information on there. I regularly post blogs. They can contact me directly through there. There's lots of information about my various training platforms, online personal training, my membership site for people in Preston, UK. There's one-to-one training, but not at the moment. Anyone can email me directly at ian@gymwolfpt.com. I'm on social media. LinkedIn is quite a big one for me. You can find me Ian David Worthington. Facebook, I've got the GymWolfPT page. I'm on Twitter, Instagram again, at GymWolfPT. So I'm on there a lot, a bit too much really. But yeah, reach out. Anyone who wants to just have a chat or has any questions for me, feel free to message me in any way.
So I'll definitely leave those in the description as well. But I definitely appreciate you, Ian, taking the time out today to talk to me, give all this great advice. Because like I said, like before the call, there's a lot of misinformation that people get, and misconceptions that people receive from people that don't know what they're talking about. But for you to be a knowledgeable trainer, and you'd be very successful at what you do, I very appreciate you coming on the show.
No, it's great to come on, Quinn. I really appreciate you having me on, mate.
Yes, no problem. We'll be in touch soon.
Yep, cheers.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Q's Health and Wellness Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe or to leave us a review on iTunes or the listening platform of your choice. Also, please check us out at QuinnMitchellII.com, as well as find us on Instagram for more useful content and resources.